it's not everyone, and I don't think it's too big of a problem because it's not everyone, but some people I feel like they don't do any debugging or they don't do any research for their own projects. Now, I'm at fault here somewhat because most of what you see on my videos, I think they tend to look smoother than it really is. I cut out all the ums and blank moments and all the parts where I pause and just think about things. And it also doesn't include all of the years and all the time that I spent experimenting, doing research, trying to figure things out. A lot of what I do in my videos is pretty repetitive for me. I've already done most of those things in the past. So I might make it look shorter and easier than it really is. And I think it's just not my videos. I think a lot of GameDev, devlog videos on YouTube, they tend to focus more on the cool side of GameDev, where you might have a prototype where it kind of looks good and you're playing around with it, you're showing people the best parts of it. But I think most of that is just tip of the iceberg. I think the more important part is what goes on underneath. And what goes on underneath is, to me, more like day-to-day grinding. I would hate to use the word grind because it's such a cliche, but it is what it is. Unless you enjoy sitting down for hours and hours doing your research, playing around with your own project, trying to figure things out, trying to figure out bugs and trying to fix it, debugging every single line, running experiments, exceptions, looking at the variables and all that stuff. Unless you enjoy doing those things, and I've been saying this a lot, you really want to ask the question whether you really want to be a game developer or not. And by looking at the numbers, I feel like this is not the majority, so I'm not that worried. But if you can't figure out why certain things don't work in your game, you really should, if you haven't done this already, you really should go to Google or DuckDuckGo or YouTube, whatever search platform that you like, and type in how to do debugging. Or in this case, it's Unity, so you should Google how to do debugging in C#, C# Unity. Start going down the rabbit hole and actually start figuring out on your own how to fix things when things don't go your way. And at this point, I think I've gotten pretty good at accurately telling whether someone has been doing their research or not, because a lot of the people that don't do any research tend to ask all the general questions, things like how do I build Doom, how do I build Fortnite, or how do I make the camera chase the player, or how do I instantiate this in my scene. And the commonality here is that most of those answers can be found just by a few searches on Google or YouTube, or just by reading some of the Unity documents. And you do probably have to do a lot of reading, but that's just part of game dev. And the other majority of people either don't say anything, don't do anything, or, I don't know, go back to their game and apply their knowledge. They're giving me bigger numbers every day, but they're not complaining, so I guess it's okay. But anyways, going back to the problem, if you don't like sitting down in front of a computer for hours and hours trying to figure things out, and if the first thing that you do when you get stuck is go on Discord and ask people general questions, you really want to ask the question why, or whether you really want to be a game developer or not. I thought about recording myself doing the research. Every time I stop recording, I start playing around with my own project. I don't apply anything, I don't commit anything that I do while not recording, but then I run experiments. I try changing the physics settings and try to render different things, try different characters, different animations, try different sets of code, try out some new knowledge that I've acquired about coding. I might live stream all that down the long term, but I just don't think I have enough followers yet to do live streams on something that is really, really boring, on something where I'm just doing my research and playing around with my own game. I guess what I want to say in this video is that you should dig into as much as you can in programming, at least if you're serious about being a game developer. And it's not just about C# and Unity. I think you should try to learn other languages as well, Java, Python, all the other stuff. Play around with the data, create your own algorithms, see what kind of apps you can make with your own algorithms. And on the surface, it might look like general programming or just fundamental programming, might not have anything to do with your own game, but all your programming knowledge, skills, and experience, that's what actually helps you solve your specific bug in your project. And if you don't enjoy that very act of obtaining new knowledge and just grinding it out, again, the question is, do you really want to be a game developer? And I think that's all I got to say. You can, if you have any questions, you can reach me on my Discord server or leave some comments on YouTube, and I'll try my best to answer your questions. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.